Buying a home is more than just a transaction. It's a journey. And for many, it can feel overwhelming, confusing, and even a little scary. But hey, you're not alone.
Then my young men's leader was like, dude, what are you doing with your life? AI now, too, is a big deal. That's where we're seeing a lot of our clientele right now in the marketplace. I've got a buddy I'm working with right now. We went to the same elementary school in Idaho.
Whoa. Oh, wow.
And he reached out to me because he saw one of my social media clips. Like, he said, oh, I forgot Brandon does real estate. I'm in Idaho, but I'm selling a home in Utah. Yeah. Let me reach out. So, yeah, that's a great question. It's because it's really difficult to get into the market, because if you're a buyer, you're probably looking at, okay, the payment's insane. Interest rates are insane. Like, how do I afford a $3,000 a month mortgage on just an entry-level home? But the problem is the train of real estate's going to continue to chug down the line. And I would maybe advise considering figuring out a way to get on the train, because it's going to go whether you're on it or not. Yep. But if you can get into a stepping stone, and it could be a condo. Like my first house, it was like a little condo type property in Midvale. And so got into that, used that, built some equity, 2, 3, 5 years. Okay, now we went and bought a condo, then we went and bought a townhome, and we bought a single family home, and we used those as stepping stones to roll some money into the next property. Yeah, I think it goes back to the saying that people say, how do you eat an elephant? It's like brick by brick, right? It's bite by bite. So get into something. It's not something you're going to love. So I would encourage people to at least evaluate what it looks like, and just be okay to not live in a luxury house to start off with.
And it's funny because I sometimes will meet people and they have 20% down, great credit, and they're like not sure if they can qualify. And I'm like, we should have talked like 10 years ago. You didn't need 20%. Great, good for you, but we could have done it at 3%, 0 down sometimes.
So interview 2 or 3 professionals in the lending side, banking side, on the real estate side, and hire somebody that can walk you through the process so you feel like you're the most educated buyer in the market. So anyways, find somebody that you know and trust. And again, don't feel like you need to work with the first person. Interview a couple people.
Yeah, I feel like thinking back to the days of being in middle school or high school, you could totally hate a subject, and it was like maybe that subject was actually not that bad, but you just hated going to that class because of the teacher. So it's kind of like that. It could be real estate can be scary if you're talking to the wrong people.
Yes.
But if you get set up and you're getting taken care of by the right people, it's not as scary as it might seem.
Is there a perfect time to sell? No, it's when you're ready. Do you need a realtor? Absolutely not. You don't need a realtor. But do I want to eat sushi from the gas station? Do you need a doctor? Do you need a dentist? Do you need a CPA? You probably don't need all those professionals. But why do we go to those professionals? There's 18,000 agents in the state of Utah. Yeah. And the stat came out from NAR, the National Association of Realtors, that 71% of agents closed 0 deals last year. The analogy I like to give is, if I had brain surgery, if I needed brain surgery or heart surgery, am I going to go to the doctor that's doing this 5 or 7 times a year? Or am I going to go to the person that does this every day, 50 to 100 times, and is honed in on their craft?
In fact, obviously, maybe you can sell a home for more because a realtor knows, hey, actually, if we list it this way, or if we stage it this way, or we do these things, you end up making more from it, right?
But maybe they're losing that, and oftentimes I see that happen, where they're losing $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 because they underpriced their home, or they overpriced the home. It sat on the market for 200 days. And is anybody going to offer you full price when you've been on the market that long? Probably not. What about, how do you be able to negotiate inspections or repairs or different things like that? Or what happens if you fill out paperwork wrong and now you're in a lawsuit? So you're now almost shooting yourself in the foot. I haven't seen it maybe quite as much as I anticipated with the NAR lawsuit. I was like, oh my gosh, my job's gone, because with everything that was said, right? Because now you got to have paperwork signed before you open doors. That's kind of what we recommended as a state initially, but that was a big eye-opener for some people. I've got to have a signed agreement before I open a door. But again, 71% of agents didn't sell a home last year. And then the average agent selling 5 to 7. If you like the home, I can almost guarantee you 3, 4, 5 other people like the home, because it probably is the nicest home on the market, or it's priced best. Yep. So the first thing that comes to my mind maybe wasn't specifically like a skill set thing, but it was maybe a mindset thing. So I started 2014. So I was 20 years old. And so I'm 32 right now, and people still think, oh, you're like probably 25. You're like 22, 23. You seem really young. And even to this day, like when I'm going to meet people to list their home, 95% of the time, still at 32, I'm younger than almost every client I work with. Yeah. And so I was spending 2 or 3 hours a day just, role playing my listing presentation. I'm like, okay, how do I present to a seller and present our marketing plan? How do I do that efficiently and at a high level? So I was spending hours and hours honing that craft. So now when I go into a listing appointment, I'm like, okay, I feel comfortable, confident, because I grew up where Napoleon Dynamite was filmed
Okay.
in Preston, Idaho. So
Okay.